lifelong Democrat is telling it like it is. James Carville is tearing into woke liberals who love to police language and pronouns for ruining his party.
I find the left to be just annoying. The Western far left is habitually the most stupid, naive people you can imagine. And they come up with these really goofy constructs, and it's all about feeling good about yourself. Overeducated coastal white people got a hold to the word, and as they do everything else, they completely it up and pissed everybody in the country off.
Now you're speaking my language.
And if we just could get the humanities faculty at Amherst to shut the up, we'd be a lot better off.
Okay, overeducated coastal white people. Jesse, the truth is that, he's speaking really to middle America. He's saying the commas on the East Coast and the West Coast are messing us up.
It's true. What would you rather be? Would you rather have a lot of knowledge, or would you rather be a good decision maker? I'd rather be a good decision maker.
You didn't have a
choice. Because all life is a series of decisions. Yep. And all your life is the result of all of the decisions you've ever made. So you now have overeducated coastal elite whites that are unhappy because they've made bad decisions, Judge. They are living in small apartments with hundreds of thousands of dollars in student debt, useless diplomas, in bad relationships, poor eating habits, poor exercise habits, and they are very upset. Now, when you are that upset because you've made decisions based on satisfying your immediate emotional needs instead of long-term planning, you blame everybody else but yourself, and you blame society. And what do you want to do? You want to tear down that society, and if you tear down society, then everything will be better. And what happens? You tear down society, and you're still unhappy. They need to look inward before they start wrecking everybody else's life. Yeah, but the problem is they have been doing that. And it's safe to say Carville and the Democrat establishment are, that the Carville in particular, I should say, has been trying to explain to the Democrat establishment that this has to stop, this whiny progressive nonsense.
Well, this is the man who helped Bill Clinton win. And what Jim Carville wants is to win. And what he's recognizing is that they may be in danger of losing. And that's why he said, wake the F up to Democrats, because he wants them to pay attention to what's going on in Philadelphia. He wants them to pay attention to the mistakes that have been made. And in politics, you can win if you can recalibrate. And that's why Bill Clinton, came up with a welfare to work program. He sensed that the nation wanted to rein in entitlements, and he was willing to answer to what the country wanted. And I love the part about feelings, because we need to reverse this. Since the beginning of the me generation, we have turned more and more inward, and it is not about your feelings. It's about what's bigger than you, which is the country, the future, and the way that you can contribute to it to make it a better place. And I think Jim Carville recognizes that, and I think Bill Maher recognizes it as well. He wants to win.
Greg?
I'm not up to embracing Pumpkinhead just yet. Carville's like a parent who doesn't say anything about his rotten brat until it affects him and crashes his Mercedes. This problem's been here for years. It's done untold damage. It's cost a lot of death. And now he calls BS on it. Thanks, but you're showing up at last call. Let's not forget what else he said. He said that people that go to Trump rallies are pretty much brain-dead deplorables. He said some pretty awful things. If he could call them retarded, he would have. So his criticisms actually hit everyone, and it doesn't come from a place of common sense or common people. It comes from an elitist perch. He's not a man of the people. He's a man protecting a system that paid him well. On the whole, he would prefer to jail a Trump supporter who stole a podium over an Antifa creep who burns a business. So there you go.
Okay.
But he's wearing an LSU Tigers shirt.
Yeah.
Got to give him that, Greg.
I don't give him anything.
You don't give him anything? Okay.
Well, what he's saying is that Biden can't win with a woke agenda.
He actually is just saying Biden can't win, full stop.
Well, we all think that. But
no, well, we don't. I'm in the separate bucket here again. Yeah. Is that a white liberal coastal elite? But my life doesn't look like what Jesse described. Just putting it out there. He said that any other Democrat but Biden who's under 60, he stipulated, would get 55% of the vote. And that if we are heading towards having multiple candidates in the race, like a no labels candidate or a Joe Manchin, that there is certainly no way that Biden can win that. And he was a strong supporter of Joe Biden's in 2020. I want to make that clear as well. He said he was the man for the job. He doesn't feel that that's the case anymore. There are a lot of people that feel that way. It's certainly out in the ether. And I thought it was really interesting. Matthew Iglesias, who's very progressive, he founded Vox, co-founded it with Ezra Klein, he has a Substack called Slow Boring, and his post today was about how Democrats need to stop with this replacing the ticket and just focus on winning. And the way to win is to become 5 to 10% less progressive than you are in your policies. You can keep the same candidates, but on things like no cash bail, for instance, you see the scene in Philadelphia, you just say, all of you are going to jail and you're staying in jail. That's how we're going to address this. You can have a more pro-police message. You can talk about border security. There's going to be a continuing resolution on border security. Kyrsten Sinema is going to be part of that. Those are things that Democrats can do without betraying our core values, and that would allow the Biden-Harris ticket to have a much better shot at winning. And it's going to be close. It's always going to be close. But I thought that was a really interesting
So pretend to be the middle ground, just like 2020.
No, it's not pretending.
It was.
Yeah, but why did
Just
it
what
take
happened
so
to this
long?
country?
What do you mean what
Biden
happened?
pretended to be moderate, and look what happened. Look what we got.
Do you
7%.
remember what this country looked like when that election happened?
Yeah, we had less crime.
No,
We had
no,
a
you
lot less
didn't.
crime.
Actually, all of the Black Lives Matter summer of looting, as you would call it, happened under President Trump. That summer was
He caused it. I get it.
And we were-
It was in Democrat cities. Coming up.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.